Hello students, welcome to HDP Tutorials. Today we are going to learn about the microorganisms. So here my topic name is microorganisms. So students, what is microorganisms? Do you know? Yes, here exactly. Microorganisms means what? Very little organisms, very tiny microorganisms which we cannot see through our naked eyes. Okay, so microscope is necessary to see that organisms. So here the microorganism means very tiny, minute organisms. So the other name for microorganisms is what? Yes, it is animalcules or microbes. So the microorganisms are also called as animalcules or microbes. So let us learn about it. So here there are many microorganisms, very million, billion microorganisms. From that, here we are going to learn some of them. Like here, bacteria, fungi and protozoa we are going to learn. So there are some examples of bacteria, fungi and protozoa which we are going to learn in this lecture. So here the bacteria, example is coccus, then fungi, rhizopus and protozoa, amoeba. Then next, bacteria bacillus, fungi aspergillus and protozoa paramecium. Then bacteria lactobacillus, fungi penicillium and protozoa vorticella. So let us learn about it. Yes, so here is first bacteria called as coccus. So let us learn about it. What is coccus now? The coccus plural is cocci. Coccus is a singular word and plural form is cocci. So cocci is many bacterium that has spherical, ovoid or generally round shape. So these coccus bacteria or cocci bacteria are generally round shape or they are spherical or ovoid. Okay students, now they are prokaryotic, single-celled microorganisms. So these we know that these are single cell organisms, means what? They are unicellular organism and we cannot see them with our naked eyes. Then cocci contain multiple genera like Staphylococcus and Streptococcus. Means what? Genera means these are genus. Okay, you know that very well. Kingdom, phylum. Okay, so here it is the genera or genus. Genera, it contains multiple genera like Staphylococcus or Streptococcus. Cocci can grow in pairs, chains or clusters. Okay, they can grow in pairs also, they can grow in chains also, or they can grow in clusters or bunch also. Okay, so pairs of cocci are called as what? Diplococci. Pair mean what? They are two. So that's why they are called as di means what? Two. Diplococci. Then rows or chains of such cells are called as streptococci. Chains of the coccus is called as streptococci. And if they are in grape-like cluster form, means they are like bunch, okay, so they are called as staphylococci. Okay students. Then nextly, here are some pictures of cocci arrangement. So here you can see the arrangement of cocci. So one singular is what? It is coccus, diplococci. Here it is two, it is in pairs, and here is the bunch of it like a grapes. Okay, so it is staphylococcus or staphylococci, sorry. Then here it is in chain form, hence they are called as streptococci. So today we are going to learn these four forms only. Okay, and if they are in four cocci, then they are called as tetrad. Okay, what they are called? They are called as tetrad. And if they are on one on each other, so they are called as sarcina. Okay, so here are the arrangements of cocci. Then here is the real picture of cocci. You can see here some of them are diplococci here. You can see the image, and some of them are in cluster form. Some of them are in chain form. Okay, so in this way it differentiates from each other. Okay, so single it is called as coccus. When they are in pair, they are called as diplococci. When they are in bunch form, they are called as staphylococci. And when they are in chain form, they are called as streptococci. Okay, students. Now let us learn the second bacteria, that is Bacillus. So here Bacillus is a rod-shaped pathogenic bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria means what? It is disease-causing bacteria. Okay, it is rod-shaped. Bacillus are spore-forming bacteria. Bacillus species can be either obligate aerobes. What is meant by obligate aerobes now? Which are oxygen dependent. Means some of them have want the oxygen. Means they cannot live without oxygen. So compulsory they want the oxygen for their living purpose. Then facultative anaerobes. They are also facultative anaerobes. Means what? Having the ability to continue living in the absence of oxygen. Means what? Some species are there in the bacillus that they cannot live, means they can live without oxygen also. Okay. Obligate aerobes means what? They compulsorily need the oxygen. Okay. They cannot live without it. But facultative anaerobes are also there which can live without oxygen also. Means they don't have any necessity that they should have, or it is not compulsory to have oxygen for their living. Okay. So Bacillus anthracis, the agent of anthrax, means it is a disease, okay, in human beings. So Bacillus anthracis is one of the bacteria which cause this anthrax disease. Then nextly, Bacillus thuringiensis. B thuringiensis means what? It is bacillus. Okay, B represents bacillus. So Bacillus thuringiensis are pathogens. These are the pathogens which are induced in the plants. Okay, so there is one example of Bacillus thuringiensis. It is called as Bt cotton. Okay, Bacillus thuringiensis is induced in the cotton plant. Okay, so it is one kind of pathogen. So here is the real picture of Bacillus. It is rod shape. You can see here. Okay, it is a rod shaped bacteria. Then here is the real picture of bacteria in the microscope. Okay, same as cocci I have shown you in the earlier slide. So here is the Bacillus with a rod shape. Okay, here you can see small rods are there. Okay, so these are real picture of Bacillus bacteria. Then next is Lactobacillus. So here Lactobacillus is a type of bacteria. We all know that. Lactobacillus is also rod-shaped bacteria, but it is non-spore forming bacteria. Whereas the Bacillus was a spore forming bacteria, and it was also rod-shaped. But here the Lactobacillus is rod-shaped, but it is non-spore forming bacteria. There are many species of Lactobacillus. Okay, so these are friendly bacteria, means they do not cause any of the disease. Okay, so these are friendly bacteria, hence they are called as friendly bacteria, whereas the Bacillus was pathogenic bacteria. But here the Lactobacillus is friendly bacteria that normally live in our digestive, urinary and genital system without causing disease. So we have that bacteria inside our body also. So it normally lives in where it lives? It lives in our digestive, urinary and genital system without causing any disease. They protect our body. Okay. Then Lactobacillus is also present in some fermented foods like yogurt and in dietary supplements. This I think you know that. Okay, it is present in milk also, and it is present in yogurt. Okay, so these are also used in fermentation processes. Okay, so fermentation of bread, fermentation of yogurt, fermentation of milk. Okay, yes. Then the Lactobacillus convert lactose, which is a kind of sugar. Okay, lactose is kind of a sugar which is present in the milk. Okay, lactose is a sugar which is present in the milk. So these what the Lactobacillus do? Lactobacillus convert the lactose sugar which is present in the milk into lactic acid. So it converts the lactose into lactic acid. Then the lactobacilli fermentation process is used to make wine and some types of bread also. So I have told you already that it is used in fermentation processes like for making bread, yogurt, etc. So here it is used to make wine and some types of bread. Then some people also use lactobacillus for general digestion problems, a long-term disorder of large intestine that causes stomach pain. So here it has a medical significance also. So lactobacillus is used for general digestion problems also. It can cure the general digestion process problems also. Okay, and also the disorder of the large intestine that causes the stomach pain. If we have a severe pain, stomach pain, so it can cure very easily. So here it also has the industrial significance and also the medical significance. Then here is the real picture of lactobacilli. It is also a rod-shaped bacteria. It is a real picture which is captured from the microscope. Okay. Then now here let us learn the fungi Rhizopus. Rhizopus is a common saprophytic fungi which grows on plants. Saprophytic fungi means what? Saprophytic means what? Nutrition is saprophytic. Why? Because it lives on other matter, organic matter, or it feed on the other organic matter. That's why it is saprophytic. Okay. So they have branching body called mycelia. Here they have a branching, means like branch like structure is present, so which is termed as mycelia. Okay, so therefore it is called as they have branching body called mycelia. Okay, there is a branching body which is called as mycelia. Then they are dark greyish brown in color. Majority of Rhizopus are decomposers. Yes, as they are saprophytic fungi, hence they are decomposers because they live on dead and decaying matter only. Okay, hence they are decomposers. They mainly feed on dead organic matter. They reproduce by spore formation. They are used for industrial purposes like making alcoholic beverages. So here is the industrial significance or application of it. Okay. Then it is a picture or diagrammatic representation of Rhizopus. It has sporangium. Here you can see one part that is called as sporangium. Sporangium produces spore, okay, which is the method of asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction that by spore formation. So here the small spores are produced in the sporangium. Then here it is a root-like structure called as rhizoids. Okay, so these are the spores you can see here. Small spores are dispersed. Okay, so these are the spores called as sporangiospores. Why they are called as sporangiospores? Because they are developed from sporangia. Hence they are called as sporangiospores. Now let us see the picture, real picture of it. Yes, here is the real picture of Rhizopus. Okay, very nice picture it is. Okay, here you can see easily the sporangia here where the spores are produced by a sexual method. Okay. Yes. Now let us learn Penicillium fungi. Penicillium is the member of Deuteromycetes. Here the Deuteromycetes is a class or division of the fungi. Okay. Then the penicillium was discovered by Alexander Fleming. There was one scientist who discovered this. Okay, by coincidence it was discovered. Then it occurs widely in nature. Some are used in industrial fermentation. This penicillium is used in industrial fermentation, like the name is penicillin, which is used as antibiotic, okay, to cure the diseases. Okay, so this is one organism, or you can say microorganisms, which is used as an antibiotic to cure the diseases. So medicines containing penicillium or penicillin, you can say, are useful to treat certain bacterial infections. Bacterial infection which is caused on the skin, nose, eyes. Okay, so you can treat that diseases through this penicillin antibiotic or penicillium. Okay, then it is also used to cure pneumonia and scarlet fever. Here the scarlet fever, it is extinct disease, but pneumonia you can you know that very well. Okay, so it is also used to cure it, pneumonia and scarlet fever. So here is the medical significance or application. Here is the picture of penicillium. Here you can see the spores. Then here is the real picture which is captured from the microscope. Here are the spores which are dispersed, and here is the mycelium Here is, you can see the branching like body. Okay, this is mycelia. Okay, in the earlier slide we have learned that what is mycelia, that is branching body. So here it is a branch like structure which is called as mycelia. Then next is aspergillus fungi. Aspergillus, the plural form is aspergilli. Okay, it is a genus of fungi that consists of about 300 identified species of mold. Okay, mold you can say, or mold. Okay, so aspergillus contains 300 identified species. Okay, so there are many names. For example, I will give you one example, that is Aspergillus niger is one of them. Okay, so Aspergillus niger is one of the species of aspergillus. Okay, then widely spread in nature, found on fruits. You can see this on fruits, vegetables and other substances which provide nutrition. Wherever we get the nutrition, we can find this aspergillus. Then morphologically, aspergillus produce branching mycelia. Again, this also produce branching mycelia. So here morphologically means what? Externally. Morphologically means, the meaning of morphology is external features, you can say. So externally, aspergillus produce branching mycelia. Aspergillus hyphae is produced by vegetative and reproductive mycelia. So by vegetative propagation, you can say vegetative means it produces one kind of part which is called as hyphae. Okay, I'll show you in the picture here. So these are the hyphae. You can see this branching structure. Okay, so this is the microscopic picture of aspergillus. Okay, students. Now let us learn protozoa, amoeba. It belongs to class Rhizopoda. Now what is Rhizopoda means what? It is it includes two terms, that is rhizo means what? Root like structure, and podos means foot, means it has a foot like root like structure foot it has. Okay, so habit and habitat is what? Amoeba is found in the water. We all know that it is found in water and also in rich in organic bacteria. It is microscopic and unicellular. Okay, we cannot see with our naked eyes, and it is unicellular means what? Single celled organism. Shape of body is irregular. There is no shape of it. Okay, so it is irregular body shape. It has irregular body shape. Now here the main part is locomotion is by finger-like projection called as pseudopodia. Okay, there is finger-like or root-like projections which is called as pseudopodia. By the help of pseudopodia, they move. Locomotion means what? Movement. Okay, so they move with the help of pseudopodia, which is a finger-like or root-like projections. Then reproduction is by asexual method, that is by binary fission. I'll explain you in the next slide what is binary fission. Here is the binary fission. Means what, students? The one organism is divided into two daughter cells, that is called as binary fission. Here you can see that in the first it is a parent amoeba. It will divide and it will divide its nucleus and as well as its body also. Then again the two separate nucleus are formed here, and then in the next step two separate daughter cells are formed. Okay, so this is the binary fission. They reproduce by the binary fission. Then here is the diagram of amoeba. Here is the real picture of amoeba. You can see here, and here it is captured from the microscope, which is present in the water. Okay. Then next is paramecium. So it belongs to class Ciliata. Cilia is one kind of the locomotory organ, means which is used for the movement purposes. So Ciliata means what? Cilia bearing plant, bearing paramecium. Size is 0.15 to 0.3 mm. Habitat is what? Paramecium found in fresh water, ponds, pools and lakes. Okay, so in this waters it can easily seen. specially found in abundance in stagnant pond rich in decaying matter. So they are specially found in the stagnant pond water. Okay, so they are very much easily seen there. It is omnivorous. Omnivorous means what? It is present everywhere. Paramecium is sleeper shape. The body of the paramecium is sleeper shape. So the body of paramecium is sleeper shape. Okay. Anterior end is blunt and posterior end is pointed. Anterior means what? Upper side. It is blunt, but the posterior is pointed end. Okay. Then cytoplasm is distinguished into outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. Cytoplasm is one kind of fluid which is present in the body. So it is divided into outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. It contains large ovoid meganucleus and also micronucleus. So it contains ovoid shaped meganucleus, means very big nucleus also, and very small tiny micronucleus also. Locomotion is done by numerous hair-like projection called as cilia. So here I have already told you that cilia is a locomotory organ which is used for the movement purposes. So it is a hair-like projection or hair-like structure present all over the body, means on the border of the body, which is called as cilia. Reproduction by asexual method, here is the transverse binary fission. Here is the transverse binary fission, we will see in the next slide. Yes, here is the real picture of paramecium. Yes, here is the transverse binary fission. Transverse binary fission means it is cutted like this. Okay, longitudinal means straight, but transverse means like the sleeping wheel. So it is divided by the sleeping, transverse binary fission. Okay, students. Next is Vorticella. Vorticella is one kind of protozoa. Vorticella is bell-shaped or cup-shaped ciliates that have stalks to attach themselves to substrate. So it is a bell-shaped or cup-shaped organism which has a stalk, means like a branch-like structure to attach to some surface. Okay, that branch, stalks or branch-like structure is used to attach themselves to the substrate, means it used to attach to the surfaces. Vorticella are transparent, range from 50 to 150 micrometers in length. They are very tiny or very small. Vorticella eat bacteria and small protozoa. They feed on bacteria, small bacteria and small protozoa. It live in fresh or salt water, attached to aquatic plants. Vorticella attached to the aquatic plants, and the surface scum means what? It is one kind of dirt, okay, present in the water. Dirty, slimy structure is there, or slimy substance is there. Okay, and also it is attached to the submerged object or aquatic animals. Okay, so here is the real picture. It is bell-like, or you can say cup-like structure with a stalk. Here it is stalk, white color. You can see this is a microscopic picture. Here it is stalk-like structure which is attached to the substrate. And here is the reproduction, that is longitudinal reproduction. So here is the longitudinal fission. So means the Vorticella divide longitudinally. Okay, so like binary fission only, it is transfer binary fission. So here it is longitudinal fission, means it divides like this in the standing line. Okay, so here was all about Vorticella. So I hope you have understood the concept, and if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. And if you have any doubts or queries, please put it in a comment section and click on the bell icon to get notified. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.